a subscriber desiring to move from a current network to a network of choice.
Okay. Well, if you're still watching, this is the agenda, and we're talking about NCC and its number portability mandate, a new initiative to make life easier for the customer, allow you, okay, to switch your lines from one provider to another without much ado, though there are steps you have to follow. Now, I'm talking with Mr. Tony Ojobo, Director of Public Affairs, Nigerian Communications Commission. The phone lines are open in case you want to call in and you know, make some comments, your reactions. But I want to beg you to please try and be circumspect, go straight to the point, make your your feelings felt, and definitely we'll take it from there. Now, Mr. Ojobo, looking at the situation now, I would like to ask you about the processes. And now the NCC has unveiled a vision, talking about it, I was reading it up, a strategic management plan spanning 5 years. What's this all about? It's called SMP.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's a very good question.
Okay.
What we have done at the Commission is to look at what has happened the past 5 years.
Okay.
We had a strategic management plan for the past 5 years, which of course ended in 2012. Now, our SMP is a kind of roadmap.
Okay.
You know, a kind of provides us a helicopter view of what the industry should look like. We want to be a proactive regulator, not a reactive regulator. This industry is very dynamic.
Okay.
You have changes occurring every day, technologies, changing, new things are coming every day, new services are coming every day. And as a regulator, you have to be on top of your game.
Okay.
And one of the ways of doing that is to look into the future, to see the direction that, that the industry is going, and quickly keying into that. Of course, everything is tending towards convergence today. Okay. Now, on this device, I can also watch television on this device.
Okay.
I can make calls on this device. I can have access to the internet on this device.
Okay.
Now, so everything is converging to one. So, as a regulator, you need to anticipate what is going to happen in the future and prepare so that the future doesn't catch you unawares, so that you are prepared. And of course, as a regulator for an industry that is knowledge-based and knowledge-driven, you have to be at the cutting edge.
Okay.
You know, your people also have to be, you know, well-trained.
They have training.
So, yeah, so we have tweaked our vision and mission. Our previous vision and mission was essentially looking at telecommunication services.
Okay.
But telecommunication services now is no longer just telecom. They're talking about information communication technology. Yeah. So taking into cognizance the issue of convergence. They're not just talking about telecoms now, because this device is not just to enable me make phone calls and receive phone calls. I can do a lot more on it. I can send mails. I can receive mails. I can watch television. I can do all kinds of things. So you see that a lot of things are coming together. So we looked at our mission and our vision and said, look, what should it be? Taking into cognizance the nature of the industry. And our mission, of course, is to create an information-rich environment,
okay.
You know, through the provision of quality communication services.
Okay.
And then the overarching strategic intent of our mission and our vision is actually to create an information-rich, and I'll tell you what information-rich means in a minute, information-rich communications environment that can compare globally, you know, in provision of quality quality communication services.
Okay, like we have the rest of the world, right?
That's right. So in other words, that you're a Nigerian telecom consumer, you travel out of the country, what obtains in developed countries, you can also have them here.
Okay.
You can roam your phone and still subscribe to the same kind of services that you get here. And you can also subscribe to some services in developed countries and come here and still have access to those services. Okay. For instance, even in broadcasting, you know, today you can get on your Facebook while I am on this program.
Yes.
Questions can come, comments can come on the Facebook.
That's true.
Even on your Twitter.
That's true.
So real time, online, live. Now, it never used to be that way. So these are all of the, all of the things that technology is bringing in into human development. Okay. And our SMP is essentially looking at these dynamics and preparing the organization to be able to meet with the challenges for the future. Okay. Now, we have as our major focus the stakeholders. Stakeholder satisfaction is key. Because when our stakeholders are satisfied, then we as regulators will be seen as if we're performing. The reason why maybe we take flags sometime is because people believe that the quality of service is not what it should be. Okay. And we're not pretending about that. Okay. We're not really where we ought to be. The quality of service is not at the KPIs that we expect them to be.
Okay, but now, you accept
but
that,
we
that
are
you're
progressively
doing something about it. Okay.
Working towards that.
Okay.
And that is why you recall that last year the service providers were sanctioned and fines were paid. Okay. Now, not really because we are looking for that money, but the fines were supposed to be deterrent, some form of deterrent to the service providers. To provide good quality of service. If you provide good quality of service, you're not going to be fined. Okay. No. So, but as a regulator, you must have guidelines that have the force of law. Right. There must be empirical things that you can prove even when you go to a law court. And that is why those KPIs have been established. And those measurements are taken. And where we see that any network falls short of those, then the network is sanctioned. For instance, in December, we took another measurement. 3 networks met our KPIs. 1 failed to meet it. And the one that failed to meet it was sanctioned. And that is the MTN. Now, it was sanctioned and they were asked to pay a fine. And even when we have now lifted promos for the other 3 that met the KPIs, the ban on promo is still in force for MTN.
That's what I was about to come to. Permit me to interject. Now, the promo issue, which you gave a mandate to telecom companies to stop sending promos. Okay, let me attend to this guest, Joy. Joy, you're a guest on our show. Hello. Hello, can you hear me, Joy? Please, before you speak, if you have a receiver there that is the volume turned on, turn down the volume of whatever receiver you have so you can hear us and we can hear you. Hello, hello, Joy. Okay. Go ahead, please.
How can a user be able to manipulate through the different providers without having to use the information you have on your phone? Like the FM settings and is it possible?
Okay.
How do you get information from the original line?
Okay, information like your phone book and all that. I think that's what Joy is trying to find.
I think that's a very important question.
Part, yes.
Now, when you port from current network to a desired network,
okay.
Of course, because it's the same SIM that you're using and it's the same number, the contacts, of course, also you have them.
You have to be backed up,
yes.
Right? On the
but for your emails, for instance, and some other kinds of messages, you might not be able to migrate with them.
Okay.
It's because ultimately, even though you are using that same number, But that new network is going to give you a SIM card.
Okay.
Their own SIM card. But with that old number you're using on their own SIM. You understand that?
Okay.
So because you have
old
some
number on the new SIM.
Old number on the new SIM of that network.
Okay.
The network of choice,
yes,
where you're porting to.
Okay.
All right. So some information that you have, like SMSs and all of that,
might be lost.
Might be lost.
What of the backup system that you back
If you have a backup system, and people should actually back up some of those. If you really want to have
with
those messages,
the provider
yes,
allows
you back
you to
them
back
up.
up.
You can back up on your system, on your computer, on your laptop, as the case may be.
Okay.
And then when you switch over, then you can download them from the laptop into the new SIM.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will lose those SMSs and the emails done on that previous exercise. You see, the point is this: in life, every decision you take has a cost.
Okay.
There's nothing that is totally free, really. Every decision has a cost element attached to that. Now, if what you want is quality of service, and you're leaving your previous network to a new network, of course, there is a cost attached to that. Now, the cost to you there, the cost is some of the information that you might not be able to. But of course, it affords you the opportunity of having better quality of service and better value for money. So, we need to explain these things.
And not losing your identity, which is your number.
Of course, when people go to the customer care center, when they want to port, all of this information will be made available to them.
Okay.
They will ask questions. The network will have to provide answers, tell them about the benefits of coming to their network. Also tell them what, so information will be provided. Really, it's not a decision somebody takes without really being well informed. It's because you are taking a decision.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Ojobo, we have a caller, Kenny from Port Harcourt, if I'm correct. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello. Are we speaking with Kenny?
Yeah, Kenny from Port Harcourt.
Okay, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, I want to ask a question right now. Yeah.
Yes, please go ahead.
My order request is rejected or failed completely.
Come again, please.
What happens if my porting request is rejected or fails to complete?
Did you get it?
Yes, it's asking what happens if his request for porting is rejected.
On what grounds can his request be rejected or incomplete? That's what he wants to find out.
Now, if you have any outstanding, for instance, if you're a postpaid customer, if there is any outstanding bill, that bill has to be paid. But if you are prepaid, and you're not owing, of course, because as prepaid, you have your credit is paid before you use.
Yes.
So if you are prepaid, now, well, of course, you're advised to use up your credit before you move. Because
so
if
you can't migrate with your credit.
If you are prepaid, you will not be able to migrate. But the question is asking about refusal. Now, except you are owing. No network is allowed to refuse a porting request.
So if the network does
any network that does that will be sanctioned by NCC. Of course, we have our port order protocol, which all of the service providers have signed to.
And does that brings the question of NCC now? Do you have a hotline that
Yes, we have a hotline that people can. Yes,
people can call.
Yes, we have a hotline, and I can give it to you right away.
I'd be happy to get it from you because I know my
08. 00
0800 22 55 622.
And I will repeat. 08 00 225 5622. That's the NCC customer contact number. Yes.
Thank you very much. Well, viewers, if you heard him well, he said number is 0800 22 55 62 2. That's the NCC customer care number. So you can call that number if you have any grounds with bad service and your service provider refuses to resolve it. And
That's
you
right.
know very well that you are the person that has been wronged and you're not the cause of the problem. Okay, going on, Mr. Ojobo, making progress, and I really, a lot of Nigerians will be happy to see that NCC is coming out, it has a human face, and wants to reach out to the people in which it was appointed to serve.
Yep.
You know, that is a very good one going forward. Now, tell us, do you think that, because customers are price sensitive, do you think the cost of telecom services, be it internet or what have you right now in Nigeria, even based on the challenges that these providers are facing, do you think that they are reasonable right now?
Well, the issue of reasonability of cost is relative.
Based on the fact that we
must have a benchmark
one of the fastest growing markets. Okay.
Yeah, if you're talking about cost,
yeah.
cost compared to where?
Okay.
For instance.
Okay.
You see, because we need to have, we need to benchmark.
Benchmark. Okay.
Pricing, you know, in Nigeria with pricing in other
countries,
locations, in other countries.
Okay.
But nonetheless, you probably are aware that recently, about 3 weeks ago, NCC came out with the new interconnection rates.
Okay, but you just please have to hold on there. Okay. I have a very important caller on the line, Pastor Titi from Lagos. Okay, sir, I'd like to hear from you. Hello, can you hear us? Okay, fine, thank you, sir. It's great to hear from you, to know you're watching the show. Okay. Did you say very stable?
Very terrible.
Okay, terrible, terrible. Okay. Please go. Please go.
I don't know what NCC is doing about it. Nobody seems to be able to call the GSM network to order.
Okay.
You can't even make a call to your, if you have two phones, you can't make a call to your second line that is in your other hand. They tell you user busy. And NCC is always saying things about customer service, customer service. I don't understand. So I want you to answer, what are they doing to order?
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. That's another unsatisfied customer that is calling in saying that the service from the providers has been appalling. What he just wants you to...
Yes, I identify with the last caller in terms of challenges currently being experienced across the networks.
Okay.
We have received complaints in the past week of deteriorating service quality. And from our investigations, what the networks are saying to us is that because of the MNP that is going to take off this Monday, that the number of legacy equipment that are being replaced with a view to being ready for the MNP. So we anticipate that when the MNP takes off on Monday, that some of these challenges will begin to go down. However, we are monitoring, we are carrying out our tests, and at the end of the quarter, we're going to carry out another assessment test to see if our KPIs have been met. Now, of course, a number of people are attributing the recent upsurge in the issue of quality of service to.
Okay, I think. Hello? Yes, please go ahead.
And I listened to the answer that was just given. And the very beginning, I think these are very embarrassing answers. The spokesman is saying from the reports that they've received, does he not use phone? What is he
Okay.
If you give us a proper answer, let us satisfy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir, for calling in. Thank you. And it seems caller is not satisfied with
the truth is this,
because he feels that you are the way you're responding is as if you're not part of
no,
the
I have to respond. Excuse me.
Okay.
I have to respond like a regulator.
Okay.
Because I understand what the issues are.
Okay.
He might not understand the issues fully. But of course, the point is this: as a consumer, and that is why all a regulator can do is to create an environment for competition.
Okay.
Right? Create an environment for competition. And that's what we're doing. So the MNP is supposed to create that environment for competition.
All right.
You see, the issue is that quality of, I'm also a consumer. I use phones. But the truth is this. Let me ask him a question. Has the power situation improved? Has the issue of vandalization and destruction of base stations stopped? Does he have 24-hour supply of power in his house, for instance? So the issue is this. You see, when you expect things to be perfect,
okay,
and there are certain challenges that are external to that situation. For instance, since 2001, the power situation has been the same. As a regulator, I'm not just there for the consumer.
Okay.
I'm there for the industry.
Okay.
I have to speak for the industry. I don't have to necessarily speak to satisfy him.
Right.
I have to speak the truth.
Okay.
Because I can't come to international television and tell lies. Because discerning people are listening to me.
Right.
Professionals are listening to me. I can't come here to tell lies. The truth is this. There are certain environmental challenges that must change.
Okay.
Issue of power has to be addressed. Issue of vandalization has to be addressed. But we have said as regulators, we are not waiting for all of those things to be addressed. However, what we can do is introduce competition. See, because competition is one of the things that can improve quality of service. As it is today, yes, the quality of service is bad. It's not what it should be.
Okay.
But as a regulator, what would you do?
Okay.
Is it to shut down the stations and say they should not provide services anymore?
Okay, Mr.
You know, so the telecom industry is not operating in isolation.
Okay.
Nigeria as a whole has an operating environment that has to be, a number of things have to be gotten right. And a major factor is power, and I've said it here.
All right, Mr. Ojobo. I'm sure when you came on the show, you didn't anticipate that Nigerians would give you
I was on channels this morning.
Okay.
But the point is this:
you must understand that
as a regulator, I'm speaking from the point of knowledge.
Okay.
I'm not speaking from point of ignorance. I'm speaking from the point of knowledge.
Right.
And what I have come here to do is to inform the people, not necessarily to say what will make you happy, but to put the facts as they are and tell you what we as a regulator, what we are doing to address the challenge.
Okay, very good, sir. But based on everything you've said, before I say anything, let's take this last call because we're on the home stretch right now and it seems to no time left. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
I called earlier and I listened to Mr. Ojobo's answer.
All right.
And why not wanting to sound antagonistic? I want to remind you that power is with the people, authority is with the people.
I see.
He's a regulator, yes, with the industry, but he's there to serve us. Without us, the industry will be necessary. That's number one. Now we're going to wait deep. Why do we blame everything on power? I'm not going to wait for the power is. I'm going to wait for the people not over the line. As an individual, and I run my own mission. I don't wait. And for our power, I organize myself. And I said because I am a service provider to people. So his answer to me is flags of somebody who is not very aware of what is that. We find him there. He's a servant of people. He should understand that. He's not a servant of the industry. He represents us.
Okay. Thank you very much.
We make sure that we get what we want. So he should organize himself as it of and give us answer. And civics and give us.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, beautiful one.
But he's also able to call in into this program.
Okay.
If he didn't have service, he wouldn't have been able to get you on this program. You see the same telephone that has used to reach us on this program.
So many times has given you some leverage, hasn't it? Right. Well, Mr. Ojobo, it's very clear that we will not be able to take, all the calls right now. But really, it's very interesting, because if we didn't get this kind of reactions, it wouldn't really show how important this industry is to Nigerians.
But remember what I told you. I said
that the
quality of service is not what it should be.
I know.
That as a regulator, we have recognized that that's not what it should be.
Okay.
I can't come here and pretend that the quality of service is good.
I agree.
But that we are progressively working towards improving it.
Okay.
And all of the regulatory interventions that we're bringing in are actually supposed to address the issue of quality of service. Okay. You see, one other thing, when you have the ability to make choices.
Okay.
Before now, people didn't have that choice of moving their number to any network of choice.
Okay.
So we have to be dealing with issues one at a time. We have dealt with the issue of interconnection rates, which actually ultimately will lead to lower tariff on services. Now we are going into the issue of mobile number portability, which also will now give power of choice to the people. Like the aggrieved customer now, for instance. If he is aggrieved, then the only thing he can do to show his grievance is to tell the network, look, I'm leaving you, I'm going to a better network.
Okay.
All right? So by the time people begin to do that, we believe that the service providers will be responsive to some of those things.
Okay, I want to take that as your parting shot on the show, Mr. Ojobo, because we've far gone, and time, is not our friend on the show. So we'll have to round up on that note. And Mr. Ojobo, he's the Director of Public Affairs, Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC. We've been talking about NCC's number portability program that is just being rolled out, that will be rolled out now to serve the customers better, allow them to move from one network to another, taking the identity, which is their phone numbers, with them. And other issues too have come into the fray that are relevant to the user. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
For putting yourself in the line of fire this afternoon.
Well, every service-oriented industry is that way.
Okay.
Well, I don't begrudge the man, but I'm also a consumer. Sometimes I also have issues on my phone.
Thank you very much. And that is a wonderful one, how it's been on the agenda. I just want to say that we hope that these issues that we've talked about will see the NCC rise as an occasion, as an organization that provides quality service to its consumers. I want to thank you for watching the agenda today. My name is Henry Williams, and look forward to seeing you in another edition. Join us. Thank you for watching the agenda.